Praise be, bitches. I am InsaneLayne, and today we look at the Hulu series The Handmaid's Tale, Episode 6, A Woman's Place. Let's break it down. We open where we left off with Nick and June fucking. Then we're over to the wall where all the handmaids are working very hard to scrub all the blood off it. See, things need to be spick and span because there's some fancy foreign government trade people coming. It's really disgusting. After a bath, Offred is summoned to Serena's bedroom, and I note it's referred to specifically as her bedroom, as if the commander sleeps somewhere else. She takes a moment to really look around the place for once, and I love this. Serena inspects Offred's dress and pronounces it fine, but really all she wants to do is threaten that if Offred is asked any questions, she best answer them wisely. Seeing the commander waiting at the bottom of the stairs makes Serena Joy remember her life from before Gilead, and it's actually the first time we see her past.
You could write me a poem. It doesn't have to rhyme. And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he took out one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. Oh, like that scrap.
Back when they were trying to make a baby, and he's all, let's get it on, and she's all, let's pray. Not much has changed. Back in the present, we get more evidence that she's the brains behind his power.
They're having dinner at the home of a very powerful commander. Let them be nervous.
Then Offred is summoned to parrot for the visitors, but not before more flirting with Nick. Ugh. Then it's showtime. She's brought into the office to perform for the visitors, and after mistaking the male translator for being the ambassador, we learn the ambassador is in fact a female, which is very interesting. It's a nice change of pace for the show, and it shows us that in the outside world, things are pretty much as they are now. Not everywhere is like Gilead. This place is an exception. It's part of why these people are here. They want to know if this kind of a system can work for them. So they ask Offred some questions, and including what is her name from before. This puts her on a spot because she can't say it. It's forbidden. Fortunately, the commander steps in to explain.
Handmaids take patronymics derived from the head of their household. Bob Warren, Fred, etc. It's a symbol of their sacred position.
A very sacred position. I can't imagine what she must be feeling as she's forced to stand there and say that she chose this. But this goes back to how things are supposed to be versus how they are. The handmaids are supposed to be treated with great reverence and respect, but we know how it really is. And all eyes are on Offred as she's forced to bite her tongue and say that she's oh so happy. More exposition over drinks. The commander says that Gilead is growing completely organic food. I call bullshit on that for so many reasons. It's far too unreliable for one, and we know they have food shortages. Also, pests eating crops, disease, those are still problems. Also, extreme weather factors, and they live in a world ravaged by toxic waste, global warming, and radiation poisoning. Is it even possible to grow organic food? The Mexican ambassador points out that global weather patterns have changed and that her country is struggling to grow food. And we get the first of many references to oranges, followed by this.
My wife's book.
I reread it on the plane. Such a thoughtful argument for domestic feminism, as it was called.
We then get the biggest download so far of Serena Joy's backstory. She was an author. She had a best-selling book all about, you guessed it, a woman's place. She used to give passionate speeches to cheering crowds and be a very influential woman. She gets straight called on, what do you think of this? This is sort of what you had in mind. Are you happy? She hesitates, but she eventually says,
God asks for sacrifices, Mrs. Castillo. That has always been his way, but he gives the righteous blessings in return, and I think that it's safe to say Gilead has been blessed in so many ways.
Also, her slightly shady past is brought up, much to the commander's displeasure.
Shall we have dinner?
We shouldn't have invited the wives.
It was a dinner at home. Consider the optics.
If we don't make progress on trade in 6 months, our currency will fall off a cliff. Consider that. But counting your arrest record doesn't do anything to help that problem.
I love both the hypocrisy and how just plain stupid he's being. She's not even allowed to speak to the guests without being directly spoken to and put on the spot, and yet he's blaming her for possibly dooming all trade with the two countries. Followed by, "But don't worry, doll, I'm sure you'll make the big reception look all pretty." Ugh. Then we're back to the past with the plans being made in the conspiracy. Fred and the others are meeting in secret, and they're being followed by the FBI, so things are pretty far along, and these are dangerous people we're dealing with. He's having second thoughts about what they're planning to do, but she says, "Hey, forget about all that. Let's go to a movie." And she mentions she's thinking of writing a second book, all about fertility as a national resource. I think I may have been right about her coming up with the idea for Handmaids. But, doubts or no, it's too late now because the game's afoot.
It's happening. They issued the orders. That's what we proposed.
First Congress, then the White House, then the courts, all the branches of government in one. He's worried about people getting hurt and the loss of life, but that doesn't seem to bother Serena Joy. Oh no, her opinion is,
There's pain now, so much of it. We're saving them. We're doing God's work.
Then we're back to the present where Alfred is being summoned to the commander's office and it's Nick's turn to be an idiot. Okay, they're both idiots. Do this behind a closed door at least. Also, I am so over this so-called romance that I'm just going to skip these scenes unless something really important happens during them. And we see why the commander has summoned her. He needs to bitch.
Who are they to judge us after their population is malnourished? They've had 4 elections in 3 years. What are they doing to save the planet? Not a single thing.
Yeah, he goes on and on about how Mexico shouldn't judge because they can't keep a stable government and their crops are failing. And look what we've done in just 3 years. Reduced carbon emissions. So take that, Mexico, with your freedom having. He is in such a dick mood that all he wants is his ego and possibly something else stroked. And she's not giving him that tonight, so he starts to kick her out. But she has some other ideas. After all, she does need to stay in his good graces in general, and being here, hell of a lot better than sitting upstairs staring at the 4 walls of her room. So, she plays to his ego. And do I even have to say it? He's a dick.
You want to stay? Come.
This is followed by the creepiest feel up and kiss me like you mean it request. Whoa. Then we're at a fancy hotel with all the handmaids together and
We have tables?
Tonight you are guests.
this is where my clips of Aunt Lydia for her character piece come from. As Serena Joy inspects the girls to make sure everything looks perfect, meaning anyone who's damaged has to go home. No party for them. And poor crazy Janine almost can't take it.
No, Janine, get off of me. No, I didn't.
Janine.
I didn't do anything wrong. I just want to go to the party.
Of Warren.
I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do.
Janine.
And this is where Aunt Lydia surprised me, and this is where I get a lot of my sympathy for her character from. She is being very compassionate and understanding, and she agrees with Janine.
You're absolutely right. But sometimes we have to do what is best for everyone, not what is fair. Go with Aunt Dylan, and I will make sure you get a whole tray of dessert.
I like the tray of dessert. Yes, it's treating Janine like a child, but it's also a very kind thing to do for her. Then they're in the big fancy ballroom, and we get to see how fancy and glittery everything is. The handmaids get to sit at actual tables with actual chairs. As Serena Joy paces in the hall waiting to come into the ballroom, she flashes back to another time where she was waiting in a hall. Just after the coup, when all the men were freezing her out and deciding how the world was going to run now that they've seized power. Her husband was still trying to fight for her and get her opinions heard, and he wants her to be part of the discussion. She then surprises me by saying,
Thank you for trying.
I won't give up trying. You should be a part of these decisions. I'm gonna keep telling them that.
No, don't. We need to work together now, not argue amongst ourselves.
Yeah, do fight! You played a huge role in making this happen. You definitely should have some say on how society is reformed. At least one woman has got to be in the room, because you just know when a group of men are behind closed doors deciding how other people's lives are going to be run, women are screwed. We get a brief look at one of the other guys involved, and wow, is he an ass clown.
We gave them more than they could handle. They put so much focus on academic pursuits and professional ambition, we let them forget their real purpose. We won't let that happen again.
Ew. Just so much ew. I hope he gets a hand or something else cut off. But Serena Joy seems to have learned ever so slightly from her mistakes.
Good evening, everyone.
The look on the commander's face is wonderful, and he's not the only shocked one. But like she said, even the righteous need a show, and she puts on a damn good one. She praises the handmaids and then parades out a bunch of children, some of whom are clearly too old to have come from handmaids, because handmaids have only been around 3 to 4 years, and some of these kids are at least 5 or 6. The event is a spectacular success, and trade is sure to go through. And then the other shoe drops. They haven't been talking about trading for oranges or food.
Gilead only has one thing to trade that anyone wants. Red tags. They want to trade us, dummy. They want to trade for handmaids.
Yep, they'll trade handmaids. It's human trafficking time. How long before they start trading the children? We then get Serena Joy and the commander moving into the current house, where she's purging her wardrobe of all her old clothes and putting in its place the blue dresses of a wife. The commander's off for important men's stuff, and she's got decorating to do. After a long day of plotting and being a dick, the commander comes home and seems to be flirting, so she makes a move. But he suddenly becomes...
We should stop.
Again, why? You must tell me why, show, because they do indeed get it on. Then Alfred has snuck over to Nyx again, and she's freaking out that she should have told the truth to the ambassador, but didn't. I'll give Nick one modicum of credit. He correctly points out that that's kind of bullshit. She couldn't have told the truth. There was no way. After freaking out a bit more, she tells him her real name. But fate is kind, because the next day, Alfred gets a second chance, as the ambassador and her translator have returned to the house to leave a gift, and they've even brought some for Alfred. Mexican chocolate. The ambassador thanks Alfred for being so candid. That's more than she can take, and she has to say something.
We're prisoners. If we run, they'll try to kill us. They beat us. They use cattle prods to try to get us to behave. They rape me just every month, whenever I might be fertile. I didn't choose this.
She lays it all out and says, "Don't be sorry. Please do something. Help us." The ambassador admits there's nothing she can do, and also that she's not willing to do anything. Alfred asks, how can you possibly be okay with this? How can you do business with these people? And all the ambassador can offer is that there hasn't been a live birth in her city for 6 years.
My country is dying. My country's already dead.
Alfred is right. America is dead. There's no going back. Remember the chipped away signs, the destroyed churches, erasing the past so there's nothing to go back to. Any future is either Gilead or what will come of the ashes, but it will never be America again. That should be the end of the episode, but we get one more piece, and if you've read the book, this was a big shock.
My husband's dead.
Lucas Bancol, born 29 April 1980 in Nyack, formerly New York State.
Yep, Luke is alive, and we will see more of him. Heck, he even gets his own episode. Made me laugh? Again, I had to look really hard for something. Anything. This episode doesn't even have Moira for me to fall back on. So this goes to Janine. Poor, poor, crazy Janine.
Why do we have to do this? It's fun. Look, it's like painting.
You go, girl, to Alfred, for daring to speak truth to power, whatever the cost. Nitpick of the episode? Oranges are fucking everywhere. We're told early on that they are so rare, and it's, like, so amazing to see some, and yet we see piles of them in nearly every episode. Get it straight. Ironic feminist Serena Joy, for helping cause the coup, and her comments about bruised apples. Dick of the episode? Once again, the commander, both for his toying with Offred and his BS raging at his wife. And that is episode 6, A Woman's Place of the Hulu series The Handmaid's Tale. I am InsaneLayne. Blessed be, bitches. Bye-bye.